You're listening to 17 Carat K-Pop, the podcast that's a little bit of everything with a K-pop twist. From pop culture critiques to the history of K-pop to interviews with people in the K-pop industry and K-pop artists themselves, to concert and album reviews, to a deep dive into the discographies of different K-pop artists, to K-pop news updates, to stories about the music industry more broadly. This show tries to cover everything about K-pop and K-pop as it applies to the larger music and concert scenes. Visit 17caratkpop.weebly.com for more information about the show. That's 17caratkpop.weebly.com. Hello everybody and welcome back to 17 Carat K-Pop. Two quick PSAs before we get started. One, please bear with me for the next few weeks as my upload schedule will be a bit random. I'm just trying to figure out what works best in terms of episode lengths and frequency, what are listeners into, what is too much, what is too little, what episodes are too long, too short. I'm really just trying to figure it all out and gauge what the interest is in the show. So I don't have a marketing team, I do this all on my own, so I have to just figure it out on my own. So please bear with me as I do, because I may go back to releasing 2 longer episodes a week as opposed to shorter episodes 3 to 4 times a week. But regardless of the frequency I upload new episodes and all of that, please know that you're in for a treat and bear with me because it will be worth the wait. I have a lot of exciting ideas for episodes that I'm working on that are coming to fruition, so stay tuned for all of that. Second big piece of news, if you haven't been to the site in a while, I would recommend revisiting it. There's now a full page on the site just for NCT content and a full page for 17 content. I may make more of those hubs on the site in the future, maybe a BTS one that would probably be next on my list. But for now, I'm focusing on NCT and 17 because I have the most content dedicated to them, I think. So those pages on the site will now be home to a constantly updating list of links to episodes about them specifically you can check out, as well as articles that I wrote about them or their music. So feel free to constantly check back and see what's new on the site. Of course, the weekly newsletter should help with that as well. And I've also revamped the sort by artist page so that it includes everyone except NCT and 17. I just moved them to their own pages, and so now it looks a lot cleaner looking at, in alphabetical order, which artist's specific episode you want to check out. I've also totally redone the best of page, so if you want episode recommendations to start with or to recommend to a friend, that is the page to go to. I've revamped what I think is the best of the show, the best episodes, with a variety of themes, so be sure to check out that page as well. Without further ado, let's get to the latest news this past week in the world of K-pop. Blackpink's Jennie is reportedly dating G-Dragon, and they have been dating apparently for a year now, and the news just broke now. YG Entertainment released a statement addressing this rumor, basically saying, we cannot confirm nor deny. They basically said we're not going to comment on our artists' private lives, which means that they're dating, because come on, what happens is that when a company issues a vehement denial saying, hey, no, that's not true, no truth to that dating rumor, then it's not true. But if they don't come out and disavow it and they just say, I don't know, or I won't say, then it most of the time it means, yes, they're dating. And I'm not as surprised as some people because, I saw the That XX music video, but what is surprising is how lately Twitter accounts like Pop Crave are suddenly posting about stuff like this. So if you're not familiar with Pop Crave and other accounts on Twitter, they're basically accumulations of posts on other apps and stuff. So it's your go-to source to get all of your pop artist news and updates in one place. So they'll have posts like with news updates regarding pop culture, but also just posts like, here's Dua Lipa looking great in her new Instagram picture, or here's this cool new TikTok that Miley Cyrus posted, or whatever it is. They've talked a bit about BTS and Blackpink and updated about some bigger K-pop groups before, but it feels like now they're talking about even lesser known K-pop groups. It feels like the kind of news that I would have to turn to by going to actually K-pop dedicated news sources are suddenly acts that are also getting news coverage from quote-unquote mainstreamed accounts like Pop Crave. It's a lot of content that is not even news. It's just like, here's an update about what these stars are doing that they're posting, you know? So they're saying things like when it was Stray Kids IN's birthday, they were just posting like, here's Stray Kids IN thanking fans for the birthday wishes on Instagram. And it's like, okay, great, but it's just It took me back a little to see stuff like that lately. And before I even read it in any K-pop dedicated media, I read on Pop Crave that Dio from EXO was working on a solo album. So it's just really interesting. I don't know who started working at Pop Crave, what's going on with them, if they're suddenly K-pop stans, if their followers have been asking for more K-pop content and they're delivering. Maybe it's the opposite and they're posting more of that because they know a big part of Twitter is annoyed with us K-pop fans a lot of the time and thinks we're annoying, which they're probably right. But at least it generates conversation in the comment section and then helps Pop Crave social media spread. I don't know what kind of publicity they're looking for or what's going on, but it's just a weird week where suddenly Pop Crave is daily posting K-pop updates. Maybe it's just a good sign for the increased globalization of music and normalization of talking about pop acts that don't all sing in English. Some evidence that supports the argument that they are doing this knowing the metrics and everything. 10th place for most tweeted about musician in 2020 is Bad Bunny. 9th, Harry Styles. 8, Megan Thee Stallion. 7, XO. 6, NCT. 5, ATEEZ. 4, Drake. 3, Beyonce. 2, Kanye West. And number 1 for the 4th year in a row is BTS. Speaking of them, let's talk about all of the new BTS news that has come our way this week. They released the Life Goes On self-cam videos, which are a really cute way to see your bias, almost like you're on a FaceTime call with them. And during each video, one of the members would hold up a card with some words of encouragement on it in classic BTS fashion. They performed last night, as of recording time last night, on MTV's Unplugged special event, which included a new rendition of Dynamite, a new rendition of Life Goes On, and the first actual performance we got to see live of Telepathy, which was really cute. But the highlight, of course, was the twofold situation where they not only sang a cover of Fix You by Coldplay that was so beautiful, but then we got to see the iconic, instantly iconic interaction on Twitter about Coldplay tagging BTS and saying they did a beautiful job. It's just legends supporting legends, and we love to see it. I think this broadcast really did a great job highlighting why BTS is good just vocally. That sometimes gets lost in choreography and everything that is in your face about the aesthetics of their music videos. But it's also important, like what happened last night, to really just take in and appreciate their vocals. Because the group collectively has such a range when you think about the deep voices and the more falsetto voices all together merging. It's a very impressive way to harmonize. So thank you MTV for doing that for them, and also for having a special 24-hour Best of BTS Videos live stream event as a fun surprise before the episode of Unplugged aired. BTS also found another cool, unique way to connect with fans and make us feel like we're with them no matter what, by having this cool event where they encouraged people to print out a coloring page that includes this design for a bedroom. And gradually over the course of a week on Twitter, the design of the bedroom was added to by a new BTS member. They added their own colors and details to it until the room was all full of all these little BTS catalog Easter eggs, and Easter eggs just for if you're a fan and have heard their live stream conversations with us and know the lingo of being an ARMY and things like that. The purple, all the purple everywhere. The teddy bear that reminds us of the song Winter Bear, the poster on the wall which features the members looking like they're taking a bow after a concert, and the iconic doors, if you know you know, but the doors were all over the room. The record player was like in the Dynamite video. The clocks were set to special times for us, like 6:13 and 0 o'clock. There was a galaxy outside the window of this bedroom, which reminded me of the set for Serendipity. There was a piano in there and like a nod to Suga. There was an hourglass on the windowsill, which kind of reminded me of the whole Wings era concept. Then there are the cabinets with books, as well as flowers and vases, kind of like what we've seen Jin hold as a prop. So just a lot of little nods to their discography, different eras of it, and that was very cool to see. So it was double the therapy for ARMY. One was guessing all of the little Easter eggs. There should be a cool, like, Spot the Easter Eggs book. 2 was just getting to color. And BTS always reminds us to think of that mental magic shop and that mental little room we make in our heads to go to when the outside world is too overwhelming. And I'm forever grateful they gave us that advice. In big hit entertainment news, they have made a huge agreement with Naver, which is like the Google of Korea. And so now that Naver has invested $321 million in a big hit affiliate, BNX, now Naver owns 49% of the stake in BNX, And what that plans to do is to merge the VLive live stream capabilities with the Weverse app, which is a way for fans to talk to their favorite artists. So it includes the video and the textual ways that we connect with our favorite artists, trying to merge them into one big platform that will now be called Weverse Company Inc. This integration isn't automatic. It will take about a year to fully get this rolled out, but gradually they will transition into one platform. So you'll go to that one-stop shop for all of your live stream and Q&A content of any form. Big Hit Entertainment is also partnering with YG Entertainment and Universal Music Group and Kisui, which is this US-based tech startup, to launch a new global live streaming platform called VNU Live. So you will go to VNU Live in the future for live stream concerts and for all other live stream events as part of just one of the many features of your time talking to other fans and the artists themselves will now be a part of a new and improved Weverse app. So throughout the year, there will be a lot of cool changes in terms of ways to connect with technology to your favorite celebs. To me, the most interesting revelation from this press conference about Big Hit Entertainment's business ventures was when the Naver CEO talked about how 85% of current Weverse users are international, meaning they come from outside of South Korea. That was an interesting note and not surprising, honestly, that much, because I can see why there's this appeal for Weverse among all sorts of artists. Even some Western artists have been using it now, so I think it will become a much more sought-after app experience in the future. The last story has a looser BTS connection, but super interesting nonetheless, about a llama with a record deal. You heard that right. The name of this character is Llama, which is an acronym for Love, Laughter, and Music Always. It's supposed to be a super kid-friendly, basically the Marshmallow of the Lego DJ world, if that's ever a thing. This character, mark my words, will probably get a TV show and commercials and a movie someday for kids because they've dedicated a lot of time to a whole backstory for this character. This character, Llama, has apparently traveled to LA from South America, then randomly ran into Ryan Tedder and automatically clicked with him after meeting at a party, and then they just got on the same creative wavelength right away, hit the studio, and released his debut single, Shake, which was written in part by Ryan Tedder and David Stewart. Here's where it gets even more wild. Stewart produced and co-wrote BTS's song Dynamite. And now that I think about it, this llama character could totally have snuck into the Idol music video somewhere. I'm just saying. It's just a wild connection to me, especially thinking about how they plan to have this character, the creators of it plan to have this character find a way to perform live again when it's safe to do so. So maybe a future set at a Coachella or award show with Llama and BTS or something. Next story, GOT7 is leaving fans with more content as a group, reminding everyone that although they are also working on crafting these solo personas and solo music careers and everything for themselves, they still love and are proud members of GOT7. They are showing that through their new single Encore, which came out with a music video as well. And the single topped the iTunes charts in a lot of places, including the USA. So that's what they just released on the group front. As for their situation as individual artists right now, JB just officially changed his stage name from JAYB to just letter J, letter B. Meanwhile, Mark is already releasing solo music. I checked out his new song 1 in a Million, and I was so pleasantly surprised by it. I didn't even recognize it was him, and that's not a bad thing. It shows that he's very much ready to experiment with his own individual sound as an artist. Side note, I highly recommend everyone check out music the same way that I do, which is all the new music I want to check out I put on one playlist and I hit shuffle, and then I get to work doing whatever, multitasking, and then that way I end up deciding if I like a song or not with no idea who it is. Once it's on shuffle, I have no idea which song is playing and which artist it is, so I totally am bias-free as I listen to and check out new songs and decide what I like and what I don't like. It's an interesting experiment. I highly recommend it. That is how I heard Mark's 1 in a Million. I really hope he continues to be experimental with his sound because I could definitely see the groove-based, atmosphere, vibe-based sound he's going for as doing really well on the US iTunes chart. They are at that crossroads where they want to stay a group, of course, and constantly reassure fans that they are still all on good terms and everything, and that this is not a breakup per se, this is just the beginning of a new chapter while they engage in solo musical pursuits. But it's also a time where they really do want to engage in those solo pursuits and distinguish themselves that way without letting fans think that they abandoned GOT7 or anything. So I feel like at this moment they're kind of like Girls' Generation. I think that's what they'll be like in terms of they will always kind of be around, never really disbanded. Talks of a reunion may always kind of just be talks and nothing more for a while. I just feel like there will be an extended period of time where they're pursuing solo stuff before they reunite, but when they do, it'll be like when Girls' Generation does, and the fan fervor will be as strong as it was before. More somewhat good group news, but marking a new chapter of sorts. Let's revisit a story from mid-July 2020. Yes, I went back and verified we last talked about this mid-July, but it's still relevant because back then, fans were concerned about the boy band New Kid because some of the members hadn't been seen for months. Long story short, a couple of the New Kid members were taking selfies and posting content like usual, but the others were never seen on camera for that period of time. And then the agency started recycling old photos of them to make it look brand new, like, hey guys, I'm still here, just letting you know, just checking in. But it wasn't really new, so there was just a lot of weird mystery around it this summer. And then the company issued a statement saying, oh, those members are not shown lately because they're in the hospital right now, with no further details provided. Left fans even more confused and worried about the fate of this group. JFlow Entertainment released a statement recently, pretty much as vague as the one this past summer, and didn't even mention the concerns from this past summer or the members' well-being or anything like that. They were just messaging fans to say two things. One, Hansol is now enlisting in the military, and two, New Kid is almost done with their next album. So they will finally at long last have a comeback. It's been way too long since their last comeback, 2019, and that's not 2 years in K-pop life. That's like 10 years. So it's long overdue, but it should be out sometime in the first half of this year. An incredibly unsatisfying conclusion to this story, or non-conclusion really, but I have a feeling we'll learn a lot more about what's been going on very, very soon. Some more quicker, rapid-fire news headlines about what's been going on in the world of K-pop this past week. Baro from B1A4 just got discharged from the military. Ming-chan from Very Very will stay on his mental health hiatus from the group and will not be promoting with them for their March 2nd comeback. Jennie from Blackpink has editing credits for her March pictorial in Vogue. Lisa from Blackpink is the new face of the Vivo S9. Kai from EXO has a new Gucci capsule collection, which is bear-themed and adorable. Esquire's picks for the 40 best dressed men of the moment includes BTS. AT surpassed their own pre-order record. They had 250,000 stock pre-orders of their last album, and this one, instead of 250, got 350,000 stock pre-orders. SHINee's new album, Don't Call Me, reached number 1 on the US iTunes charts and topped the charts in 45 regions around the world. IM's first mini album, Solo, reached number 1 in 18 regions around the world. The BTS deep cut Inner Child reached number 1 on the US iTunes charts this past week, despite being released a year ago. That was awesome. Also awesome to see is that their older album, You Never Walk Alone, has been certified silver in the UK. They also had 2 songs with music videos that just reached 700 million. Dynamite just reached 700 million Spotify streams, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears just reached 700 million views. Blackpink continues to break their own record for most views, with Doo 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 surpassing 1.5 billion, and they are the first to have an animated dance practice video reach 100 million views. They had this animated ice cream dance practice video with Selena Gomez, and there were these animated Zepeto characters in their place. Another cool, interesting change in album promo during a pandemic. And lastly, Stray Kids' My Pace just reached 100 million views. That is all for today, but stay tuned because in the next few days I will be releasing It's the SHINee dedicated episode coming your way very, very soon. Thank you all for listening today, and I will talk to you all soon.